Welcome to the show that takes up no more than 5 minutes of your time, but could help you gain massive real estate knowledge. It's 5 Minutes in Real Estate with best-selling author Shane Willis.
Hello, it's Shane Willis, Pensacola real estate expert, bringing you today's episode. Well, it feels like fall out here right now. As I'm recording this, it's October 8th. Went for a run early this morning. Boy, it definitely felt like fall. It was 69 degrees out here. It was fantastic. Got most of the rest of the morning done, and now starting to just record this, and I still think it's only 72 or something. Of course, we might be dealing with a hurricane in 48 hours. Right now, it feels like fall. I wish this cold front would push on down there and dissipate that hurricane, but we'll see what happens with that. Anyways, there was two things that I wanted to talk about today. One, I'm actually going to talk about the blog. Get over to shanewillis.com/blog. I'm going to write a new blog post today. I'm not going to do it as a podcast, but I'm going to write a new blog post talking about how the inventory crunch may be slightly coming towards an end. In our area, there are still some price points that it's not. And I'll mention that in the blog, but I want to give you some national numbers about how we're seeing trends, because I always try and let all my listeners keep up with the trends. Today, I want to talk about own a home. Why you really should, period. I was having a long debate over football this weekend, and was talking with some folks that have been renting for about a year, and they plan on renting some more. And I just asked them point blank, how come you don't want to own a home? Well, we're probably only going to be here about 4 years. We're already a year into it, so we've only got 3 years left. And, they're a military couple, so, then we're going to be moving on. And I get the argument. I do. Not to say that I didn't rent before. When I was stationed in Korea, I was not buying a property there. I knew I was going to be there for 12 months. That's different if you're going to be here for 4 years. That's a totally different ballgame. If you're going to be here for 18 months, okay, I can get it. I can buy it. But let's talk about some of the benefits of actually owning a home. And I've actually combined some of my past podcasts in these notes. What really got me thinking about this, too, as I prepared for this episode after having the conversation with the guys, was Realtor.com. They reported that buying remains the more attractive option in the long term. That remains the American dream. It's also helping with savings. So, number one, I'm going to go over 5 things. Actually, I'm going to go over 4. Sorry. Number one, in a previous podcast, that's where I got the 5 from. I went over 5 highlights. I want you to go back and listen to it, and I'll link it in the show notes. Homeownership is a form of forced savings. You're here for 4 years, that could be a forced savings. You're going to be making that payment anyways. You'll be making the mortgage payment either for yourself or for your landlord. One of the two. Homeownership provides tax savings. That's true. There are tax benefits to owning property. Yes, some of that has changed. So if your property is worth more than $1 million, more than $750,000, it may change, but there are some tax benefits for it. Homeownership allows you to lock in your monthly housing cost. I have got multiple rentals myself and continue to go up on them. I continue to raise the rent. Most landlords are doing so. I have a property right now, as we talk, that I rented out in April for $875. I rented out for $875. Well, the tenants got orders much sooner than anticipated, so they just give me their 30 days notice at the beginning of the month. They're moving more than 35 miles, which is what the standard state of Florida contract says for the military clause. Okay, so they're breaking their lease, and that's fine. I understand it. I'm prior military, so I get it. But I put it back on the market. It's actually going to become available November 2nd. They're moving out on the 1st. I'm going to, have to make sure it's clean and stuff like that. And November 2nd, we'll have it available. But remember, I rented it out in April for $875. Now I have it on the market for $935. I've got something like 17 applications. I've had it on the market for 3 days. When I say you're going to lock in your prices, When you own a property, you're locking in your prices. You know what your housing costs are going to be. And will they change slightly? Yeah, they could. Believe it or not, they could go down, not just up. Most of the time, your insurance stuff goes up. I found it interesting that my mortgage payment after my first year actually went down like $50 a month. Because I noticed when I opened my statement the other day, I never open my statement, I just make the payment. I've made the same payment every month since we bought the house. But I've noticed that I'm applying an extra $57 and something to principal. Well, my payment's never changed. It's the same payment I paid when I bought the house. So, okay, works for me. So apparently my payment went down. But my point on this is you're actually locking in your monthly housing stuff. Buying a home is definitely cheaper than renting. Definitely cheaper than renting. I just told you just one property. I've got other properties, $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 a month. That if you bought the property, your payment would be under $1,000. So buying is definitely cheaper than renting right now with the way rates are right now. No one, the final one on that particular one is, or that particular podcast was that there's no other investment you get to live in. No other investment you get to live in your home. Now, I have a lot of boater friends that would say, well, I live on my boat. Shut up. You know what I mean? Okay. Number 2 out of these top 4 for the day. It says studies have shown that homeowners' net worth is 44 times greater than a renter. 44 times. So as you go to build wealth, this is almost like a staple. 3. Last month, I actually showed that in 2018, I actually did a podcast on this. 2018, the average household across the country gained $49,000 in value. We were less than that. 2017, it's in the 2 to 250 price point, for instance. It gained about 10.2%. So let me put that in perspective. All of a sudden, you bought a $250,000 house, January 2017. January 2018, that house is probably worth $275,000. So you gained value. You gained appreciation. And finally, out of the 4, I heard the argument. This is what the guys told me when we were talking. Repairs. If you own a home, you got to deal with the repairs. But what my argument back was, you don't think that I build in repairs to the rent payment? You don't think that what you're paying me doesn't have repairs built in already? We actually walk through, they give me an example of how much they're paying in rent, and told me about where they live. They didn't give me the exact address. We're up at a bar watching a football game. I don't even know your exact address. But we were just talking, and I told them, I said, okay, so for what you're telling me and what you're spending, your mortgage payment, including taxes and insurance, would probably be about $220 to $275 less than what you're paying right now. So if you wound up paying the same amount, meaning make your mortgage payment, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and put that we'll just call it $250, we'll go right in the middle. Put that extra $250 aside, you got $3,000 for those quote unquote, I'm putting my air quotes up now, repairs that need to be done. And oh, by the way, if you get homeowners on that property, you make your homeowners covered, because you may not have to spend $3,000. The argument's moot because you can actually put, with the amount of overpayment you're paying to the landlord, because I guarantee you, I build that in. As a landlord, I build that into any of my properties. When I say a rent here, I'll build it in. The property I was telling you about at the top of the show, I was renting it for $875. I had built in a profit margin there. Not only had I built in repairs, but I had built in a profit margin. Now, that same property's at $935. My taxes haven't gone up. My insurance hasn't gone up. My repairs haven't gone up. The only thing's gone up is the rent. So actually, just my profit margin went up. That's all. But as a tenant, you're helping that profit margin go up. So why wouldn't you own? It's just a question. All right, that's all I got for you today. As always, if you've not subscribed to get the tips, tricks, graphs, infographics, get over to 5minutesrealestate.com. Also, get over to the Facebook page, facebook.com/Shane Willis, the Realtor. And finally, I end the show the same way every time. episodes. If you found any value in this or any other episode, do me a favor, share it on social media. Have a great Monday.